And we are live, Newsday Tuesday. Len, my friend, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm all coffeeed up now. I'm onto the water.
Gotta have the coffee.
Oh, first thing, as soon as I get up, that just has to be. I got one of those brewers so that it's made right when I walk downstairs. So life is good. I
Nice.
already went. I already went through all mine. I'm sure you've had your coffee today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have one more after the show.
There you go. There you go. I'm done, but I've already had enough. I'll be driving everybody crazy. But how you doing, Ron?
Doing good. Little
Yeah.
tired. I think a cold is trying to get into me. It's the weather.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. This is that weather. This is what'll get you. A day like today where it's, 40, 50 degrees and breezy, and you're used to all that weather from the weekend when it was 60 and almost 70. But the good news is the good weather's coming. It's coming. We just got to wait a little bit longer.
Just a little bit. These when the headaches come around too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm dealing with allergies and all that stuff. It's been a rough year already. It's I'm trying to stay positive. You get to this point in the year. I was just telling my wife last night. We're pretty tough here in New England. We can deal with the cold. But you get to April. You've been dealing with this for 6 months. And you get those little teases where it's, 60, sometimes even 70 degrees. And you're like, okay, I'm ready. And then you come back to a day like today where, we're going to be lucky to get out of the 40s.
Right.
And it's just, I think at least for me, I'm just mentally done. Like, it's like, let's go. It's either, I love snow. I actually do. And I love, we've talked about it. I snowshoe and ski and all that stuff, ice fish. But I can't stand this in between stuff. I like it when the weather's good and it's cool, but I mean it's like cloudy and rainy and 40. Nobody's got a need for that except the gardens. So April showers, May flowers, yes, I get it. I've got all the garden vegetables going, down in the basement, all seedlings and stuff. Have you started that yet, Rome?
I haven't started. I gotta start probably next week.
What's on the menu this year for your garden?
Probably cucumbers, some more tomatoes. Probably try a new one. Something that
Mm.
we didn't try it.
Yeah. Yeah. So far it's tomatoes. That's it. But we're going to branch out pretty soon. I just want to get started with them pretty early. You can grow a lot of tomatoes if you work on it.
Yeah. They grow pretty
What?
fast too.
Oh golly, yeah. Yeah. I bought some, or my wife bought some new seeds, and oh my gosh, these new seeds my wife bought, they germinated in 4 days, which I was just going cheapo. I like got some old potting soil from the year before, just threw it in a tray, spray a little water, just tiny bit of Miracle Grow on it, and boom, they popped in 4 or 5 days.
Fast. Yeah, that's fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you pictures. You can overlay it if you want, and
Yeah.
show some of my handiwork there. We'll probably do peppers. I don't know. I'd really love to get some snap peas, but they can be tricky. You want stuff that, if you're trying to grow to feed yourself, you sort of got to change what you grow into what's going to grow well where you live. And, certainly tomatoes do well here. We do great with jalapenos, banana peppers, but it's like you said, you got to figure out that next one. I don't know what
Yeah.
that next, I don't know yet. We got time though. Not
You got some
much.
time.
Little time, little time, probably about a month to 6 weeks. Because I mean, generally, I put stuff in the ground like May 15th.
Get a head start.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't want to go May 1st. A lot of folks will. You can roll the dice and do it. You might put stuff in the ground, but you also might kill it. So I'll just wait. I got the little mini greenhouse set up in the basement. I got one of those mini hydroponic things. They're called Aero Gardens. Got one of those. I'm good. We got enough to get things up and running here.
You're all ready to go.
Yeah, I am, man. I am. I'm trying. I was out over the weekend thatching in the yard, scraping the lawn up on Easter Sunday morning before everybody was awake. Did you have a good Easter, Rome?
I did. I did. I went to church. My other
Good man.
half, she sings in the choir. She
Ah,
performed. It was nice.
that's great.
How about
That's great.
how about you?
Just visited family, which is always nice. But in the morning, we didn't go till like 1 or 12. So I, of course, was up at the crack of dawn and I'm like, let me work on the yard a little bit. So I did. So it was a lot of family, a lot of lacrosse this weekend. I'll get to that in a minute. That's actually coming up in some of the stuff we're talking about. But no, it was a good weekend. Crazy busy week. We got some big projects going and lots of news breaking already this morning. It's just, woo.
Busy day, busy week. So much
Yeah,
stuff going on.
there is. There is. It's definitely a news day Tuesday. But that's okay. It's okay. We like working here. We like working. Well, my gosh, I should probably get to some of this, but let's do the fun stuff first. We're talking about gardening. Might as well go into food. You got a food of the week?
Food. Chicken Alfredo.
Mm,
Yeah. From a restaurant.
okay, I'm down with
Yeah.
that. Um, so not fettuccine Alfredo though. So Alfredo sauce, but on chicken.
Yeah. Just kind of basic.
You know what's good with a little Alfredo? You put some pepper on there, kicks it up a little.
Nice little kick. Yeah.
hmm hmm Well, I'm going to be lame on the food. Well, not really. I mean, it's seasonal. Again, like I think a week or two ago I said Swedish fish. I went with candy because that was the most
Yeah.
exciting thing I had. And maybe this isn't fair because a lot of people made nice things for Easter, but jelly beans. It was Easter. And the reason I bring up jelly beans is this. I don't know about you, Rome, but there's seasonal candy that you binge on. So Halloween, it's candy corns. Easter, it's jelly beans. And I'll have jelly beans like crazy at my brother and sister-in-law's house where we always go for Easter. And I won't have jelly beans for another year. And the same thing is what he said. He was like, the last time I remember eating jelly beans was out of this candy dish a year ago. And then like you got to go cold turkey because you've had just so much sugar in your veins with those jelly beans. You got to stop for a year. So I'm good.
Do you get the regular original brand, or you get because nowadays they have different like flavors and different brands like Starburst, or which one do you
I
get?
I am non-discriminating, but I learned from my family this past weekend that there are people who there are definite camps when it comes to jelly beans. I had no idea, but uh, there's the OG kind of sugar laden. Nobody wants the yellow one and the orange one, and then some people like the licorice one, and some people don't. And then like half my family likes those, and then half the family likes the ones that are like you said are the more engineered flavors, for lack of a better term. Um, I'm indifferent. I'll take sugar any way I can get it when it comes to jelly beans on Easter. But then again, for another 364 days, I won't touch them.
Yeah. Got to take a break from that. So
hmm
you'll pretty much eat any kind.
Anything. Yep. Like the orange, like the yellow, like the green. I'll have the licorice ones. They're fine. Equal opportunity jelly bean eater. That's for sure.
As the black one, the licorice one,
hmm
yeah, that one's
hmm
terrible. I never liked that one.
It's Rome. The licorice black jelly bean cuts one way or the other. People either like it or they don't. And I would say only about a quarter of the people actually I can't have more than like 5 or 6 of them. That's too much of one flavor, but I like it. Yeah, it's fine. Sugar's sugar for me at least.
Nice. It's a nice sweet food dish for the week.
Yeah, I'll come back with something real next week.
Okay. What you been watching?
I might have talked about this before, but I'm allowed to talk about it again. It's a show. Did I tell you about Slow Horses on Apple TV?
Yes.
Okay, so we're now in season 2. Okay, Slow
Okay.
Horses season 1. It won all these big awards. Actually, it's a British um, detective drama, and it's about all these people in the British service that's called the MI5, and it's the rejects, the ones who screwed up, and they're like banished to this dumpy office, and they've got to do all the dirty work that the glory agents don't get to do. And so the first season was great. And then my sister-in-law said, well, the second season was okay, but Lindsay and I, my wife, tried to watch a little bit of it, and we're enjoying it. But I will say, just the tiniest bit, it feels a little forced. So I understand why my sister-in-law said, might not like season 2, but give it a shot. I think it's still worth watching. What are you watching?
I've been watching a lot of dog training videos, studying different trainers so I
Hmm.
can learn some new tricks.
What are you trying to do trick-wise?
The obedience, you know how like when dogs are so hyper, they just go
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
Trying to get him to stay there for like a long period of time. Cross the street, he won't move, come back.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
I'll
I
I'll send you one of the guys I watch.
Yeah, please do, because I got one dog that she's pretty good, and then the other one, well, I mean, they both got their good points and bad points, but I got one that's what's called motion reactive. And so if a car goes by, he wants to chase it. And so anytime I'm on the street with him, I've got to make him sit and then see if he can hold it. And usually he will, but then I got to give him a biscuit. He's not fat yet, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
send
they
me
love
some
the
of those
treats.
videos.
Okay.
Yeah, send me some videos. What else we got here? Oh, sports. Geez. Well, that's an easy one again, but I'm gonna hit you with a curveball here. What do you got for sports this week, Rome?
Gotta go UConn. It's been a good one. Past couple days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, they didn't. Neither team won the championship. That's the way it goes. You know, what are
Nice
you gonna
run.
do? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I read this morning. I had no idea. The men. This was the first time they were in the championship and lost out of 7 tries. Good for them though. That's an
Yeah.
impressive record. And the women, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, they're always there, and they don't win it every year. They come close almost every year, but they don't win it every year. What'd you think of that whole Geno thing?
I think it was all right.
Just for your listeners and viewers that don't know, the head coach of the UConn women's basketball team had a major league hissy fit after the game. He's apologized for it, but hopefully it's not gonna just be something that impacts his whole career when people look at you know the huge span of his career. But it was definitely not his best day.
Yeah. It's difficult being a coach like that for a big team.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. I think they broke their 54 game winning streak too with that loss. The other takeaway I shared with my wife was just that it looked like whatever happened with UConn, it took everything out of South Carolina, because South Carolina was terrible in the championship against UCLA. They got their keisters kicked. So,
Oh, yeah.
sports, sports, sports. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I'll tell you my sport. Oh, go ahead. No, you got.
I was say that's sports for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets
So,
intense.
yeah. So it was a great weekend for my wife and I. We got to see our nephews. They're both big time lacrosse players. One plays for UConn. They don't have a D1 team, they have a club team, but this club team travels all over, the country to play. And this weekend they were playing Syracuse, kicked their butt. And it was nice to see our nephew, who's a senior now. He's the captain, and he had a really good game, even though he's playing on a gimpy leg. and he's saving himself for some of the playoffs coming up. And then we saw another lacrosse game on Sunday, or no, two on Saturday, excuse me. We were at UConn for the first one, then we drove up to Massachusetts to see our other nephew, his younger brother, who's playing varsity for Bentley College, which is a Division II team, and we saw them play against American International College. So my sport for the weekend was lacrosse, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sport looks hard too.
Yeah, it's real different, because you're wearing gear. Um, it's not like football, where even though you wear a lot of pads, it's not like that kind of contact, but there's a lot of contact. And one thing, is funny when you think of like soccer, right? I played soccer for 4 or 5 decades. Um, you can play that, I would argue, up to about 85 degrees. And I was talking with one of our nephews about, well, what's the hottest you really want to play lacrosse? And he's like 70. Because it gets, and like that's the absolute max, because it just gets so hot with all the pads and the helmet and the gloves and everything. Soccer, you're only wearing shin guards, and like I wore something for concussions my last 10 years of playing. I didn't get any, but I didn't want any. So, um, it's interesting because they play lacrosse. They'll start playing like in Jan, Feb, definitely practicing out on turf and stuff. And their season, like this is like 2/3 of the way through their season right now. And it's, barely warm outside, but for them, they don't feel it. So it's a real cool sport to watch. It's really interesting seeing how it's grown. Like when I grew up, in northern New Jersey in high school, they didn't have lacrosse at public high school. I'm not sure they still do. But then I was watching a game this weekend where I saw Rutgers play, the State University of New Jersey. So, I mean, look, there's certainly a lot of good private schools that have tons of lacrosse players. So there's no shortage in the supply.
Yeah,
All right, I talked about sports. I guess we got to do news. I love doing news. Don't get me wrong, but it's more fun talking sports.
yeah.
So Tuesday news day, we got some stuff, Rome. I know you like hiking, and so this is just a watchword, especially this time of the year. You still have slippery surfaces out there. We don't know what happened, but we do know a 23-year-old man has died after he fell through an unmarked trail at Sleeping Giant State Park in Hamden. This happened Monday, I believe that's the 6th of April. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection said they were notified around 11:45 in the morning of a hiker who had fallen. Emergency crews were sent to the park and they found the man. They said he died from his injuries at the scene, has not been identified. They're calling this accidental at this point. You just got to be careful out there hiking, Rome. Don't take risks.
He was
You
alone,
know,
right?
I believe so. Yes. There's nothing in here, nothing in this report that indicates he had a buddy with him and he was on an unmarked trail. I think that's one of the key parts of this. Stay on the marked trails.
Yeah.
And look, I'm just as guilty as this is the next person when it comes to skiing. There's something called going off piste, which means going off trail. And if you do that, you got to assume some pretty serious risks. I don't go off trail anymore, but you know, something to consider. We're getting into hiking season here. Do you ever go off trail, Rome?
No, Len, I got to stay on trail.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
Yeah. I'm worried about like, stuff like that. You could walk in like a covered hole, like the unmarked trails. They're
Mm-hmm.
dangerous.
Mm-hmm. They are.
There's coyotes everywhere too in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut.
Yep. 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 So you got to be vigilant. Carry that bear spray or whatever you got. So another big news story. We've got a lot of news coming out of, not out of, but about the Department of Correction. NBC Connecticut Investigates had a report last week. We got an exclusive look at this report done by what's called the Department of Correction Office of the Ombudsman. This is somebody that advocates for good prison conditions. And the report talked about how all these inmates had, they get medical care just like you and me to some degree. But they get medical care. It's not like you go into prison and you don't get medical care. And they saw these doctors, and they had over 2,000 referrals for specialist treatment, right? You know, a foot doctor, ear doctor, whatever, orthopedist. They had 2,000 plus referrals in a short period of time, and none of the appointments were set for any of these inmates. And so you had inmates with cancer, with heart conditions. Some of them even died while waiting for these appointments that they never got. And this was an exclusive report on the television side that was given to NBC Connecticut Investigates. CT Insider did this story on the print side. It's something you can still see on the NBC Connecticut website under the Investigate section. And you know, it's just one of those things that's troubling. But to be fair to the DOC, it pointed to a lack of physicians, noting that in spite of a lack of a lot of these specialists that these inmates need, the DOC did make 10,000 appointments in the 2025 calendar year. So there's that. What I can tell you, without giving away everything I know, is that there's more reports coming out about the DOC pretty soon. The other thing about the Department of Correction in Connecticut, there is a leadership change that is about to happen now. You have a longtime commissioner who will be stepping down in May. Let's have some fun news, huh, Rome?
Yeah, some fun news.
All right, you've been watching this flight to the moon stuff?
A little bit.
All right, so I'm going to give you some of the latest deets on that. The moon now fills the window of the Artemis 2 astronaut mission that we're watching right now. And they had a big moon flyby on Monday, taking in magnificent views of the far side of the moon never witnessed before, while setting new distance records for humanity. This was a 6-hour flyby, and it was the highlight of NASA's first return to the moon since the Apollo era. Hard to believe, Rome, with 3 Americans, 1 Canadian. And it's a step toward putting boot prints near the moon's south pole. I believe, what is this, in 2 years? 2 years, I thought it was 2030. It's just 2 years. That's something. That's something. Have you been watching any of this? Did you see the liftoff, or at least a recording of it?
Yeah, I seen a couple clips. I seen the people going, the rocket that they're taking out there. Very
It's going to be
risky.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you think, you say goodbye to your family. You don't know if you'll ever see them again. Hopefully everything's going to be fine with that. We all lived through the Challenger. Well, not all of us did, but many of us did. And certainly let's hope that nothing like that happens. It's very exciting. It's exciting
Yeah,
stuff to watch. And, you can, of course, see continued coverage of that on NBC Connecticut. 24/7, wherever you stream, online, on our app. And I do want to put in one plug before I go. We have a spectacular podcast. I'm not doing it, but I know people who are. It is called Decades Unseen. If you like true crime, and you want to hear about a real Connecticut case that honestly is still going on right now, it's that Waterbury case where a younger man claims that he was held against his will in a 6 by 8 foot room for several decades by his family. This is this guy named S. Remember, he set the fire in his house just to get attention to his situation, allegedly. So they're on episode 4 in this true crime podcast called Decades Unseen. You can get it wherever you stream. I'm a Spotify guy, but there's lots of places to find it, YouTube, things like that. And it is well worth the listen. My colleague, Melissa Cooney, an intrepid reporter we have, is all over that story. And we have a great editor, Brian McIndoe, who's a photographer I'm lucky enough to work with as well. So sorry, got to give you a little plug there. But,
yes,
it is Tuesday News Day, and it's a really fascinating podcast and interesting case. I encourage you to give it a listen.
yes. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decades Unseen. That's what it's called. But now I need to be unseen. I got to go back to the chores room. Got to cruise for news, as we say.
Busy
As I'm
day.
sure you do too. Yeah. Tuesday News Day. Always a busy day.
Right. Well,
I'll
thank you,
send
my
you some of
friend.
those pictures of the garden stuff.
Okay, and I'll send you the video of the trainer, one of the trainers I watch.
Yes, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. All right, Rome. Peace out.
All right,
Happy Tuesday Newsday.
you too. See you next
Take
week.
care now. Yes. See you then.
Take care.
See you, Rome.
There we are with this week's news updates. I'm your host and producer, Go Rome TV, the Rome Show podcast. News updates with my friend Len Besthoff, chief investigative reporter from NBC Connecticut. And don't forget, every Tuesday we have new episodes, weekly episodes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet. Go Rome TV, the Rome Show podcast. Hit that subscribe button and follow me on Spotify, the Rome Show podcast. And take care. Keep streaming and watching. I appreciate it. Much love. Peace.